You are not poor because you lack money. You are poor because you have been trained to chase a shadow. They want your eyes on the paper, the currency, the grind, the paycheck, so you never notice the machine behind it. As long as you chase the shadow, you are running a race with no finish line. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you how to stop chasing and start building. The exact shift I made when I finally broke the cycle. Let me be clear. I am not here to sell you a course or a get-rich-quick fantasy. I am telling you this because I spent 3 years trapped in the same illusion. I worked 80-hour weeks, and it nearly cost me everything. I still remember staring at a bank balance of $12.42 after a month of 14-hour. The math simply did not work. The system survives on your confusion. And I reached a point where I had had enough. By the end of this video, you will understand the input switch. It is the only thing that stops the shadow from running away. If you never flip this switch, you can work 1,000 hours and still end up with nothing. To understand the switch, you first need to see why your brain is drowning in noise. Think about this. Why are there a billion wealth videos on this platform, yet the world is statistically getting poorer? It's because you are drowning in noise. Noise isn't just useless information, it's a distraction program. It's that endless stream of hacks and trends designed to keep you so overwhelmed that you never actually move. Information is everywhere, but if you don't know how to filter it, you're just a library that never builds a single thing. The input switch is the mental mechanism that stops you from consuming information and starts you producing value. It's the difference between the person who watches 100 videos on how to build a skyscraper and the person who actually owns the crane. Most people have their switch permanently stuck on consumer. We need to flip it to architect. But here's the truth. It takes a complete shift in how your input switch operates. We are flipping that switch every single week on this channel, so make sure you're here for the next one. If you don't stay connected to the blueprint, it's too easy to fall back into the labor trap and let the noise take over again. Ways to keep you in the dead zone. The first is the traditional grind, 9 to 5 lie. But the second is more dangerous because it looks like freedom. It's the get-rich-fast illusion. You've seen them, the guys in front of rented jets telling you that you can make $30,000 in 30 days with zero skill. They aren't teaching you how to build a machine. They are selling you a ticket to a dream while they hustle the last. It's motivation disguised as education. And it's designed to keep you hungry, but never fed. Hard work pays off. If that were true, the person cleaning the skyscraper would own the building. They don't. The system glorifies the grind, the 4 a.m. wake-up calls, and the exhaustion, while they carefully hide the leverage. They want you focused on the tiny coin you get for your time, so you never look up to see who actually owns the clock. While you're busy hustling for a month to get what takes them a second, they are laughing because you've accepted their math as your reality. Here is the terrifying truth they don't want you to realize. The grind isn't just tiring, it's a replacement program. As long as your value is tied to your physical labor and your hours, you are 100% replaceable. If you disappeared tomorrow, the system would have a new grinder in your seat by Monday morning. You aren't building a legacy. You're just a battery providing power to someone else's machine. Every get-rich video you watch without the input switch is just another hour you've spent polishing a cage you don't even own. Stop for a second. Look at that crowd of identical people standing in line, waiting for their coins. Look at the people chasing the quick fix gurus. Are you in that line? Be honest with yourself. Because you cannot escape a trap if you're still pretending you aren't inside of it. The longer you stay there, the more of your input switch withers away until you forget it ever existed. I'm curious, because we've all been fed these lies. What is the biggest grind or get rich lie you've ever been told? Was it loyalty to the company, or was it a guru who promised you the world for $997? Tell me in the comments below. I'm going to be looking through them and pinning the most honest answer so the rest of the tribe can see the truth. Now look closely at this doodle. The reason you've been failing isn't a lack of effort, it's a misunderstanding of physics. Money isn't the goal. Money is a byproduct. It is nothing more than a thank you note for a problem solved. If you stand in the sun and try to grab your shadow, it moves away. That is you chasing money. But if you move your body, the object, the shadow has no choice but to follow. The object is your value contribution. When you stop trying to get money and start trying to solve at scale, the shadow of wealth literally cannot escape you. It is a law of the universe that the system tries to hide, so you keep chasing the paper. I promise to show you the input switch. Here it is. Most people take in information just to know things. That is the switch in the OFF position. To flip it on, you must filter every piece of knowledge through a single question. How does this solve a problem for someone else? The switch turns passive consumption into active architecture. Once that switch is flipped, you stop seeing jobs and start seeing inefficiencies. You stop seeing bosses and start seeing problems that need a solution. You aren't learning anymore. You are sourcing parts for your machine. Think back to the skyscraper. The person cleaning the floor is trading their life for a wage. That's the labor trap. But the person who owns the building isn't just working hard. They solved a massive problem of space, utility, and commerce for thousands of people. One is a cog in the machine. The other owns the blueprint. If this analogy just flipped your perspective on what work actually is, then I've earned your attention. If you're ready to stop polishing the furniture and start building the foundation, one floor at a time, hit subscribe and join the family. We're playing the long game here. But here is the part the gurus skip. When you first start moving the object, the shadow doesn't move immediately. There is a friction gap. You will build, you will solve, and for a moment, the bank account might still stay at $12.42. The difference between the winners and the grinders is that the winners know the physics is working. They don't quit during the lag. And even when the money does start following, you need a system to sustain it. Without a system, your wealth is a leak, not a lake. You can't just solve a problem once. You have to build a mechanism that solves it while you sleep. Truly building wealth means turning your input switch into a permanent engine that works whether you're standing there or not. If you don't build a system to catch that byproduct, you're just a high-paid grinder. At the end of the day, the system is designed to keep you replaceable. It wants you to stay as a spare part in a machine you don't own. But once you've seen the shadow for what it is, and once you know how to flip that input switch, the cage doors are already unlocked. Your only way out isn't to work harder for them. It's to become the solution they can't ignore. You don't find wealth. You build the object that attracts it. And that takes a level of focus most people aren't willing to give. The system wants you chasing shadows because a distracted person is a profitable person. But this channel? This is for the people becoming the architects. If you're tired of the noise, tired of the fake gurus, and ready to actually start building your machine, floor by floor, then join the family. We're not just spectators here. We're the ones building the skyline. Remember, money is just a thank you note. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the note. Stop looking at the paper and start looking at the machine. It's a slow process, but it's the only one that actually works. You've had your switch flipped today. Don't let the noise flip it back to off the moment you close this app. Now that you know why you've been trapped, you need the first actual tool to break out. I've put together a breakdown of the 3 high leverage skills the system is terrified of you mastering because they make you unreplaceable. Click right here to start building your first floor. I'll see you in there.